Somebody explain that to me. 5050, please, on the text. I'll talk more about this in a second. But Fred de Jong joins us. And in the end, mate, it was the same old, wasn't it? We just couldn't score a goddamn goal.
Pretty much in the final analysis, defended pretty well and held the number 20 team in the world goalless, but the other end of the field just toothless. And I think we're playing up against a Switzerland team that, played within themselves, knew a draw wasn't always going to be enough, and so and that's how the game panned out.
Look, I mean, I don't know how we're meant to feel. I mean, we're told by the mainstream media, of course, that, we should be overwhelmingly proud and it's been a raging success and all of that kind of stuff. I feel a little flat and disappointed only because once we got that first win against Norway, it was in our hands then to progress. And I feel like we've missed such a great opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. But I think if you'd said at the start of the tournament, I think everyone was predicting it was always going to come down to the Switzerland game. It was just that the first two games were in reverse order, in that, we thought we were going to struggle against Norway and we thought we were going to do well against the Philippines. And so, it was flipped around, but ultimately it was always going to come down to this game. And, we were probably going to have to win the game depending on how our goals stacked up, and given the history of this team going into the finals, it was always odds on we were going to have to win the game. And and I think so that's how it pretty much panned out. I think leading into the tournament, the team hadn't shown enough to get everyone excited, and then the Norway game and the performance against Norway flipped the script completely. And I think you're right. I think the ultimately, when you look back at this campaign, that game against the Philippines was the killer blow. Needed to get at least a point out of that, and failed to do so.
Yeah, you said at the very start, that rankings outside the top 10, it's very difficult to know exactly, whether a team like Norway 12th, what that actually means. I mean, is the Norway team that we saw against the Philippines last night the real Norway, or the team that played us?
No, I think the team that against the Philippines last night is more what they're about. I think they came into this competition, with some issues and internal issues, and they were flat on the first night. And I think we've seen a few teams like that, sort of high-ranked teams. England were flat. USA didn't really show what they're capable of. And Australia the same. Canada definitely. So some of the bigger countries it's been a slow start to the tournament for them. And I think Norway, you can put Norway in that boat. And we hit them, and we played really well. We were really up for the game, and we failed to do that in the last two games. And I think, and that's I think, if you talk about disappointment, that's the disappointment, that when it really came down to it, we couldn't work out a way to score a goal.
Fred de Jong is with us, former All White, and worked with FIFA, worked with Oceania. You talked about Yitka for a long time, a 6-year deal, and going back to the same players. I mean, what disappointed me last night was that Millie Clegg is sitting there. You've got to, what did Alex Ferguson say? A young player changes everything. You've got the talent, you've got the ability. Here's your chance to shine on the world stage. Why wouldn't you actually give that young woman a go?
For me, that was, if you're talking about disappointment, that was the most disappointing moment in the entire campaign and over the three games. I thought, when we saw Betsy Hassett on the sideline ready to come on, it was like, how is that possible? You desperately need a goal, and you have a young goal scorer on the bench, and you turn to a midfielder whose goal scoring record is at international level is poor, and I couldn't fathom that one. I really couldn't. I thought, of all the times where you need to just charge your arm and do something different and really show that you want to win the game, that was an opportunity to put on a person who's probably going to be in the Ferns for a long, long time if she keeps scoring at the rate she scores at. But that was just crying out for someone like Millie Clegg. And if she, if Millie had come on and hadn't done anything, it was no worse than what we saw.
Well, that's it, yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, it just, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, as you say, it's like when they threw Marcus Rashford on for the first time, and you're going, holy moly, here he goes. I think he scored a double, and, it was like, wow, this guy's a revelation. It could have been a moment like that. And, instead we got Betsy Hassett. And it's the same with, you're going to the tried and true, well, not even the true. I see, for me, this is the thing now with this team. I think there'll be a massive of retirements, Erin Naylor, Ali Riley, Betsy Hassett, Hannah Wilkinson, all these players should be moved on or retire. And then we should see this complete refresh of the side. And also we should be looking at players who technically are better, because you can see now on your doorstep, you can see the teams, the better ranked teams in the world technically are much, much better than we are, and they pass the ball much, much better. Even last night, Switzerland, 20th in the world, they pass the ball better than we do. And I think historically we've chosen very good athletes, and so physically we can match anyone, but technically we can't. And I think that if this team is to grow and do better and get their ranking up, then I think we have to look at more technical players as opposed to more athletic players.
Spain, Japan tonight, mate. So is one of these teams going to make the final? No. I think they'll get to the quarters, but I'm not sure that they have. If you talk about physicality and the like, technically, yep, both of them playing really good football. Probably, two of the more impressive teams that we've seen and have hit the ground running. But I think the physicality of the real top teams might get them over the top of Spain and Japan. I think of the two, Spain are probably the better bet if they to probably cause an upset and get to the final. Also, the Matildas getting out of their group, mate. They're below Canada now behind by a point. They've got it. They've probably got to win. Well, I'd say they'd have to win this game unless Nigeria lose to the Republic of Ireland. The match is simultaneous. So the Aussies, are they going to get out of this group?
No, I don't think they will. And I think it wouldn't surprise me if Sam Kerr starts and then limps off. Pushes it a bit early and limps off. But for the tournament, it would be it's much, much better, obviously, if Australia get through. But I think they're going to struggle. They haven't shown enough so far, and I'm not sure that Kerr's fit enough to last the game. But having said that, Canada have been poor as well. So I think it's the team that finds their mojo quicker will come out on top.
All right,
Devlin.
Yes! Yes! Can they do it?
The Platform.